And it is finally time for the first race of the season. Welcome everybody to the Burger King 200 at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Up here in the booth, we got a few of us. It's myself, Adam, retired driver, Brett Pritchard, and we even have a wild Ryan DeLusso who's appeared into the chat today. What is going on, everybody?
How's it going?
It's about time, I would say.
Yeah, much awaited.
I'm just gonna sit and observe.
He's got his feet on the was that thing called? The desk.
Oh yes, on the desk.
Onto the desk.
All right, so we had 48 cars enter into the race today. How about that? That is the most we've had in a while at just a normal speedway itself. And we got to talk first about the cars that went home today, and that's going to be the number 8 of Travis Dawson, Francie Davis, Mariah Douglas, Don Jones, and Joseph Ernesto. Unfortunately, all failed to qualify. We can go ahead and show you those qualifying results.
Not to mention going into 10th year FARCA with a brand new car.
We had the Gen 6 car before, rent for a few years, I believe from 2018 till 2022. And it's back now, but it's a little different than before, as the command to fire has been given. Cars are going to start pacing around the track, but we're going to be going over everybody. Let's go ahead and talk about practice. The first things, the first chance we got to see cars making some actual race runs. Austin Yoakum actually was the driver at the top of that practice session. And Dylan Touchton was behind with Sammy Cobb, Chris Davis, Tim Salmon, Brett Pritchard. Then it was followed by Citadino. Mancha was up there, who struggled last year. Justin Osborne, who was leading the championship for the majority of the entire year. And then it was Makoto Kino. And now it's time for us to go over the starting lineup of the race. All right, let's go ahead and take it away. And I guess I'll toot my horn. On pole myself, starting alongside Dylan Touchton and the 69, returning for IRM with that nice new Ford Mustang. Road 2, take it away, Adam.
It's two straight second place finishes in the sessions for Dylan Touchton. Road number 2 sees Sammy Cobb in the 77 Speedco Ford Mustang to the inside of the 27 car of Greg Graziano.
Behind them in row number 3, we have Chris Davis in the number 5 machine. It shows, Dakota Cottle in the number 5 machine. He starts side by side with Chris Davis in the '06 for Davis Motorsports. And that for now with the new partnership with the Reckless and IRM camp.
Then we have the 44 car Brett Pritchard in the Heatwave Racing Mustang to the inside of Marissa Miranda in the 32 Fox Racing Chevrolet.
Rookie to the series, so is the team itself. Nick Fountain in the 39, switched from Dodge to Toyota in the offseason. He starts alongside the regular series champion of last year. That's the 79 of Justin Osborne.
Behind them, we have the 19 car of Dylan Young, who's going to be starting at the inside of Eugene Hawk and the 88 Canyon Filters Chevrolet.
And as the news happened during the offseason, unfortunately, we had the passing of Benjamin Thomas, who was the driver of the number 6 in the series. His brother has stepped into the organization and is running it alongside Brett Pritchard. So number 9 is ran by Jay Langelier. We welcome him back to the series after the hiatus for a few years. He'll be driving his older brother's car with his number on the hood, and he'll be riding shotgun with him on the passenger name rail. That is Jay Langelier, and he starts alongside the number 63 of Brandon Crasta.
The whole FARCA team is still mourning the loss of Ben Thomas, one of our most beloved friends. Behind the 9 and the 63, we have the 15 of Quinn Ezo, who's going to be starting to the inside of. Didn't quite catch who that car was. The 33 of Makoto Kino.
And then we have the number 87, Arthur Xavier, one of the hot shots who drove the 86 for Salvador. He still owns the organization, now driving for Douglas Motorsports after he drove for Team International. He starts alongside Scott Porter in the Mobile One Toyota.
And behind them, we have the 84 car of Andy Bewley. I believe that's Andy Bewley. It is Andy Bewley to the inside of Connor Meir in the Ghost Toyota.
Then it's John Cittadino in the number 72 for Team Motorsports. He'll be starting alongside number 12 of Jacob McMillan.
Behind them, we have the 26 car of Naled Patwary, defending series champion, in a tie with Ben Thomas. Starts the inside of the 82 car, which is driven by, I believe this one's Rick Johnson.
That is Kenny Bumbura.
Oh, it's good to see Kenny back.
David Walsh in the 55. He starts alongside his teammate, Timmy Weathers, in the 55.
Then we have the 4 car of Austin Yoakum, one of our 2 Canadians in the field. Starts the inside of the 41 of Andrew Weisbecker.
And then it's Daniel Quinones, Dan the Man out of California, in his number 16 car. Also has that number 6 for previous team owner Benjamin Thomas on the hood. Starts alongside Lizzie Wesley, also out of California, in the Procrastination 63.
And then we have Bradley Smith in the 30 car for TXS Racing. It starts to the inside of Tim Salmon, his teammate at TXS Racing.
Then it's Deacon Jones in the number 28 Milo's Rewards Chevrolet. Starts alongside Richie Mancha in the 99 Toyota.
And behind these 2, we have the 17 car of Zach McAdoo, Exide Batteries Ford Mustang.
Mac
He runs a
Attack.
similar painted car in the OPS. And he starts the inside of, this is,
Elias
Elias
Nassar,
Nassar.
another Canadian.
I forgot his first name.
Another driver coming out of California and a new driver to the series, Double Nickel 9 Motorsports, welcomes Rob Kreider to his first race, and he qualifies 37th alongside Tom Jones in the 46 car.
And behind them, we have the Caitlin Meir machine in the Walmart Toyota to the inside of one of the Douglas Motorsports machines. It's the 78 of Rob McPherson.
And then we have Jeff Cannon in the number 81 Ghost Serial, presented made by General Mills. He starts to the inside of Bradley Hughes in the number 7 Ford Mustang, and rounding out the field, we have Joshua Lockhart in the Bin Autosport 75, a new organization coming out of Team. And the driver moves over laterally to it to go over and join them. That is your field. The grid is set as we pace around here at the Homestead Miami Speedway. It is the 10th anniversary of FARCA. This is a special race to commemorate the milestone event that is our 10th year. That's why you're going to see blue chrome wheels on every single car in the field today. All of their additional sets of tires also all have blue wheels. But General Tire is back with us again. There was rumors of Goodyear, but we ended up sticking with them. Got these wonderful new bodies from 5-Star Bodies, and that is why we look like these nice Gen 6 look with that larger valence. Very similar to the OPS cars, but they got a little bit more air that can be pulled up from underneath them. They don't seal as low to the ground, and I don't want to say they're a bit more durable, but they are a composite body versus the steel bodies of the Pro Series.
All right, we're going to send the command down to get this field underway. We're going to send the pace car in this lap.
Pace car will come down this time by, and it will be the best time for us, and that's going to be getting this race underway. "43 cars, 48 entered, 5 have already gone home. Will there be more that join them up on the wrecker?" It's going to be down to number 97 at the control of the field. That'll be driver Aaron Douglas.
if they added 1 lap to it.
And yes, it looks like they have.
Just for everybody in attendance, we will be silent for the first 6 laps.
That is going to be to commemorate our fallen driver.
We
That
just
is
send it?
Benjamin Thomas.
You have to send the command in again.
I shouldn't have to. Let me see.
You do.
Oh, it'll do 2 automatically no matter how much you do on it. I did. Yeah, it just does the same thing. Yeah, okay. So 2 more, and then we'll be going. But yes, the first 6 laps that will be kept there for Ben. We will be silent in the booth. Nothing will be played. No music, no nothing. Just the sounds of the cars while we have the initial race. The only reason why we would stop would be the event of a crash. And once we go back racing again, we would do the same thing. All right, so
It's a
this
very
will
loud
be.
rack.
That's why I muted myself on the stream. We have 200 miles, 135 laps. Sun is going down. Track lights will be coming on here soon. They're already on, but they're warming up. And we will be kicking this thing off again under the lights at Homestead. It's been a traditional start for us for the past few years. Nothing but fun. We saw IRM come back with a lot of speed. Reckless Racing come back with a lot of speed at the end of the year. I expect them both to keep that going into the season, especially with that driver sitting there on the outside row. Lights on the pace car off as we head around 3 and 4 for the final time under the pace laps. And we will get this thing underway.
Meanwhile, Aaron Douglas continues to lead from the start of the race moment. See, Sammy Cobbs moved into the second spot over Dylan Touchton. Touchton's still trying to work over the 77 car through turns 3 and 4. And then Dakota Cottle has settled into 4th place.
Biggest mover since that first opening 7 or 8 laps of the race has actually been Andy Bewley in this number 84 machine. She's picked up nearly 10 spots since the drop of the green flag, averaging about a position a lap.
Bewley's 84 machine currently works ahead of the 19 of Dylan Young and behind the 27 of Graziano. Graziano is a former teammate of Andy Bewley.
And while we're talking about that, the number 5 car of Dakota Cottle just set the fastest time of the race so far, a 32.76 for that number 5 machine out of DK Motorsports.
The 5's got some speed in it today. One of the sort of sibling cars, Brett Pritchard, has moved around the 39 car for 5th place. As Touchton again is going to look on the 77.
Gonna go on board with the 69 car.
Somebody's off pit road to the inside. That's one of the TXS racing cars. Looks like Tim Salmon might have had an issue.
Looks like
Oh,
it.
this is
and
Quinn Izzo.
He's moving slow on track right now. Might have an issue for this Toyota.
He's just coming off pit road too, so something definitely amiss on Quinn Izzo's machine. He's been in the wall.
Heavy right front damage to the side of that car.
Yeah.
That's like going to be a pretty unfortunate for Izzo. Nothing on our official monitor that's telling us that there was any sort of documented wreck, so he could have gotten loose and just hit the outside wall. That's going to be a tough break for that number 15 machine, as they're going to go to work and change right side tires and pull out some damage on the side of that number 15 car.
Izzo, of course, a few years ago for TXS Racing, and then Timmy Weathers worked hard all season long. Izzo won the regular season championship. Timmy Weathers won the official championship. That team since has lost their Toyota support, and they're trying to crawl the way back up the running order. Not what Quinn Izzo wanted today.
His teammate Brad Smith currently actually running in the 30th spot, which you wouldn't say is too bad for what could be considered a backmarker team. But these Toyotas not running very fast.
No, and you could see coming out of that one turn how he was fighting the car. You watch his hands go back and forth.
This TXS Racing team was once one of the most dominant teams in the series. It's just a lot of people are really hoping that they can find a way to bounce back.
And they're going to need something better to help him out. Running in the back right now isn't going to do too much for him. Another driver having a pretty good day on the opposite side of that Toyota camp that also started to lose some sponsorship. That's Supreme Motorsports after Target dropped and Dodge pulled out. We got Andrew Weisbecker running in the 18th position right now, getting up to the back of rookie Marissa Miranda.
His teammate Nick Fountain is in P6. Nick Fountain is, well, he almost won the Onesto Pro Series race, the season back in 2022 before Aaron Douglas had a late surge. This driver had tried to find his way at Mir Toyota Racing in the Premier Series and couldn't quite find its footing there. Found a home at Supreme Motorsports, and they're hoping to have a good season.
That 1.5 second lead that Aaron had over the field starting to dwindle may have pushed those General tires a little too hard. Sammy Cobb now within 3/10 of the leader in P2, and he's got more cars behind him.
Brett Pritchard has caught Dakota Cottle, and now he's going to look to the inside of him down the back straightaway.
Ditched the brighter colors and went with the simple black and gray Intimidator style.
Fits the style of
Colors.
the threat, but here comes Nick Fountain, not afraid of the threat. Looks to make a move there, but backs out of it, and it looks like we may have just had a pass for the lead. Battle going on between Sammy Cobb and Aaron Douglas. And To look who's right behind him, Dylan Touchton. That green Toyota has got two very fast Fords right behind him.
Dustin's trying to work together with a Ford teammate here. Doesn't seem like Cobb's got too much momentum just to make the inside work right now.
Struggling to pass seems to be the issue at the moment for P2. The clean air helping out car number 97.
Izzo is still on pit road. They are trying to get that car fixed.
Yeah, not having a good time for Quinn. There's a lot of damage to have to repair. Looking at about the 3.5 minute mark. They've already got the new tires on it. They're just trying to work out what damage they have and what they can do to get it fixed.
From a car on the edge of being not qualifying, Jeff Cannon is up 18 spots within 18 laps.
Oh, that is insane for the Meyer Gazoo racing car. This team kind of struggled at the early parts of last year, but they have said that they had major organizational changes to this specific team, and it looks like it's immediately paying off.
I believe they ended up dropping a car too.
Nope, they still have 4 cars.
Oh, because Osborne's in the 79.
Right. Let's keep an eye on how this goes throughout the day. Scheduled halfway break is slated to occur at lap 68. We're at lap 20. Quinones has been sticking with them. He's now up about 5 positions, and he broke into the top 25 after getting around the 87 of Arthur Xavier.
Yeah, Dan's had a busy offseason. He had all the cars ready and then got the call from FARCA saying that we're switching cars. So. And Dan has also taken part ownership of Reckless Racing.
That he has. It looks like Sammy Cobb got passed by Dylan Touchton. The 69 has gotten back around the 77 from their original starting positions. Sammy Cobb out there, new sponsor on the 77 car for Nexus Racing. Speedco and Love stepped up to the plate. And they took over from the Verizon sponsorship.
Yeah, Speedco's been a long-time supporter of this team. I think back to the resurgence of Nexus.
Them battling has allowed Dakota to catch right up to the back of them, though.
They sure have. Look at that. Dakota not too far behind now.
Oh, and Touchton has got
changed.
around.
Touchton did get the lead. An issue with the 97. Looks like he went high in the corner, maybe missed the corner, but Touchton is now your second leader of the race and took it on lap 23. Awesome job for Dylan. I said those Ivory cars are a force to be reckoned with. They were very fast towards the end of the season.
Yeah, so IRM went down to a 3-car team this year. They're really putting their focus on those 3.
Goal, I believe, that was set by Brett at the end of the season last year. All 3 cars must get into the championship run.
Yeah, they won another championship this year. They came close last year, but they want one this year.
Look who's got his car all fixed up. The TXX driver, Quinn Izzo, exiting pit road. He'll be re-entering the race. That right front all patched up. Welcome back, Quinn Izzo.
They're probably just going to try to log laps, get some data for their baseline setup here. Chicagoland isn't a track that's really thought of as being close to Homestead, Miami, but the setups between the 2 tracks are really similar. Hutchinson's having some struggles getting into the corner. Aaron Douglas has gained about a tenth and a half that last time through 3 and 4.
I think we're just starting to see the difference between tires starting to make a major play here, because if you get them hot, start to wear off, fall back a little bit, let them cool down, and get some speed again. I think that's what we're starting to really see here.
'77 got a good run off of 2 that time, but still about a second back from the leaders.
Not much has changed up here at the front, but what about the rest of the top 10? Chris Davis has been staying
to
in
my
the
fellow-
7th spot.
Let me just interrupt real quick. To my fellow commentators, if I disappear, there is massive thunderstorms coming my way.
Big copy on that. And let's see, it's then Justin Osborne in the 79. He's starting to make a little bit of headway. He started 10th, just moved around a little bit ago to 27. He's now in the 8th position.
Just outside the top 10, we have Andy Bewley up 8 spots in the 11th spot.
Brendan Krasta and John Cittadino have been moving up with her. Weisbecker still crawling. Cannon just made another pass getting around. David Walsh has made up now 19 positions. Aside from Quinn Izzo, who had the poor start, the driver who's having probably the worst time right now is Makoto Kino. And that number 33. She's dropped 12 spots since the drop of the green flag. Tushin still leads, just 2/10 over Aaron. He's starting to get close to make a look here. Gotta try and get a good run off of the corner. We saw in the OPS series, which the cars do run a little bit different engines too. The outside lane definitely became the preferred lane by the end of the race. I'd be curious to see if we get something similar to that here with the Premier Series race. Got close to the back bumper of Touchdown, but had to back out of it.
I think Aaron just wants to play this fair. He doesn't really want to initiate contact in the 69.
Use as much of the draft as he can on the straightaways to suck up to the bumper.
The 06 of Chris Davis is currently trying to run down the 39 for 6th place.
It's getting closer and closer to Nick Fountain. Pretty much single filed out for the majority of this race at the moment. A lot of this is going to be driver data too. Everyone's going to be learning different things about the car. They are quite a bit different handling wise from the previous car. They make a little less horsepower.
Aaron and Dylan are side by side.
That they are. And he's got the 77 right behind him to boot.
Sammy thought about sending it 3 wide.
He looked for it. Aaron now trying to pinch the 69 down towards the bottom of the racetrack. We talked about that high line. The 77 was using it there.
I don't think that 77 car is as good as he wants to be on the very top.
I don't know.
No, Sammy's held that middle lane basically the whole time.
He's trying to look again to the outside of Aaron, but does he go for the switchback? Down to the inside.
You know who really likes these new cars? Person who's won 2 championships in these kind of cars.
And he's up to 4th place now behind his
And closing
teammate,
in.
2 IRM drivers. And here comes Touchton now to the outside for second.
Had one hell of a run on the outside.
Huge run for the 69 car. Gets around the 77 with ease and now can set his sights to try and taking back the lead from Aaron. Brett's got the 5 car right behind him. We've got multiple champions up front here. The 2014, 15, and 2021 driver champions are all in the top 5 at the moment, as well as a Pro Series champion. Pretty stacked top 5 for Touchton and Cobb to be up here with.
Talking about champions. Our 2024 champion is somewhere.
Got a move going for
20.
possibly the lead here. Looking to the inside. Touching with the way you're currently driving, you could definitely be a champion. Now goes for the switchback and onto the outside. Pulls a veteran move on the Pro Series champion driver. But Aaron dives it deep into the corner.
I don't think we've seen a person dive as deep as that yet.
That was an insane move to retain the lead by the 97 car.
Yeah, Aaron might be toying with them a little bit here. Just trying to save his stuff as much as he has to.
Yes, but every time he allows the 69 to catch in the battle, it's going to bring the 77, the 44, and the 5.
I really think we need to keep an eye on this 44 car, sneakily moving up, and then he just kind of sits there. Then he moves up again. Then he just kind of sits there for a minute.
He leaves the threatening aura everywhere he goes. But that is how he got his nickname.
And as we say that, Dylan Touchton goes for the lead yet again.
Did not allow Aaron to dive down that time around.
Nope. Gave no chance for it. Waited until corner entry. Stayed sneakily like a ninja on the right rear corner. And now Sammy Cobb making a move as well. Trying to go for second. Doesn't have enough of a run. How about Nick Fountain and the number 39? Just cracked the top 5.
Chris Davis with the little bit of a team rebrand, bringing Francie in. He's right there as well.
Battle for third starting to happen as the 44 tries to make a move on the 77. We're starting to really see the long run be pretty fun to play with these cars. Passing starting to become a thing. There's a lot of things still to learn about these cars.
We are approaching lap traffic.
We are approaching lap traffic, and we are also 17 laps from the halfway break. Lap 68 will be the halfway break. We've had 2 different leaders so far tonight. That's Dylan Touchton and Aaron Douglas. Both are 1-2 right now with very fast cars still right behind them. How fast are we getting to that lap traffic? You can see that little dot in the left corner of your screen. We have seen those guys play havoc here before. It made the difference of who won the race here last year in a very, very dramatic Homestead race.
And that is Lockhart, who is a second slower. Aaron Douglas has came down to pit road.
Oh, we have. The first taker for pit road is your leader, or was one of your leaders. And I believe we're about to see the trend be set as also Jay Langelier and the number 9 has also made his way down to pit road.
Which I just have to say, from not being in a stock car for a while, he's been in the 16th, 17th area.
Jay has been doing pretty good, and we have to talk a little bit about him as Touchton also pits from the lead. That will allow Sammy Cobb
Dives
to lead
down.
his first lap of the race.
Touchdown was sideways coming onto the.
He
apron.
was. He was. But you got to get
Interesting
as
to see
much
if he
speed
was
as
able
possible.
to make pit road speed limit there, though.
Ooh, that could be a huge issue. All right, just to say from last year's race as well, we added 50 miles to this race. We added 35 laps. Justin Osborne had the pole, and who won the race? Austin Yoakum, an iReal Motorsports driver.
I think Brett just came down pit road. No, he's still out there. No one
Pitted
took
this
that
time around. No one pitted that time around.
Touchton's back in the 40th place now. Definitely lost time to Aaron.
This is strategy. Now, for those of you that are not familiar or new to the motorsports world, this is what's called the undercut. Pitting before the field is anticipated to pit in hopes that that your laps run on those fresher, faster tires will then allow you to get ahead or past drivers who then ran on those worn out tires longer. So that could be the game that these three drivers are then trying to play. And Touchton had to pit because he's battling with Aaron for the win of this race at the moment. So if he lets Aaron get too far out ahead, that could be a problem. He had to respond. He had to pit. I'm actually surprised that Sammy Cobb didn't pit.
Actually got 6/10 on Aaron right now. Dylan Touchton does. But Aaron's closing.
Aaron also got an extra lap on his tires to warm him up.
Right.
Dylan. So we'll see where things even out.
So they may be a lap down, but this could be the battle for the lead right here if the rest of the field has to pit. And indeed, we have more cars coming down pit road. Greg Graziano at Douglas Motorsports brings his number 27 Chevrolet down pit road as well. Sammy Cobb, your race leader. That will allow Brett Pritchard to lead his first lap of the season. Justin Osborne's down pit road as well. The number 79 out of Meyer Gazoo Racing. So
I'm just looking at. Go ahead.
I fully anticipate that everybody's going to pit before we get to the halfway break. And the crazier part about this is we're going to be running out of fuel just before the end of this race if it stays green, which could play havoc to the end of the race.
I'm just looking at some pit stop times, and most of them are within the low 10s. Jay's pit crew did a 9.77, which is half a second faster than everybody else.
That is flying. That also means we're getting fuel in 2 tires only. These general tires seem to be lasting enough where teams are not doing 4-tire pit stops. As the rest of the field now becomes to go into pit road is extremely busy right now.
Major Weisbecker it retains the lead now. In the 41 car. Scott Porter's in second. They're yet to pit.
Love the new sounds of these Elmore engines that we have on board.
I'm just looking at taking a look at the ticker we have up in the booth. The one on the website.
Yeah.
And it shows that 44th has now passed 47th position. I'm not even on track.
It does that sometimes.
I was sitting here laughing.
More cars head down to pit road.
Oh.
Andrew Weisbecker trying to hang out and stay here. Now, the thing that somebody could, in theory, try to do, that's hang on to this thing as long as they possibly could and put that field a lap down. Because if they do that, then they get the chance to get some fuel while everyone's a lap down, and they get waved around and get the lead for free.
Sammy Cobb, as of right now, will be the leader after pit stop cycle.
It looks like that is the case. His pit crew has done a marvelous job. Actually, his pit time wasn't
side by
even that
side.
fast. That's just how he got on and off pit road. The driver himself. Oh, yep, there it is. That is your in. That will be your new battle for the lead. Sammy Cobb and Dylan Touchton now to the outside. Deacon Jones currently leading this thing in the 28 car. Lizzie Wesley and Caitlin Amir. These three all still have to come down pit road. And there they go. All three of them, which will then give the lead officially back to Dylan Touchton. And look who also had a couple spots gained on pit road thanks to all this. Dakota Cottle will be back up to fourth. Back ahead of the 44 car. Another team that did a fantastic job of getting on and off pit road, John Cittadino, who has made his pit stop, now inside the top 10. All right, so after cyclists have completed a battle for the lead again, this time for the official lead, Sammy Cobb looks to the inside of Dylan Touchton, and Aaron's right behind him. 3-car battle for the lead. That 97 looks quick.
The inside
Yeah.
line isn't exactly working in the 77's favor. He's going to dive deep down like you saw Aaron do a couple laps earlier before the pit cycle.
Slide job! And first official lap led for the 77, and Aaron now tries to make the pass on the 69 as well. Not going to make it happen. Gets the door slammed on him by Dylan Touchton. Looking again now. Sammy goes on the defense.
I think Touchton's car is a little bit more of a mid to long run car, though. As
I
we saw
agree.
Before pit stops.
I
So
definitely
he might
agree.
let Aaron go on to battle Sammy and then be there.
Nesto cheering on in the chat on pit road to his fellow teammate. I gotta say, this is really impressive out of Cittadino. He was an international driver. Now he's gonna be full-time for this season. DHL stepped up. That's a good-looking car, too. Is that some damage on the left rear of that car?
Our previous two champions are sitting 28th and 29th. Neither of them having good days.
That is true. That is Noah Patwary. Right behind him, Austin Yoakum. We've always said there's a curse. Ever since Brett Pritchard, who sits in the 5th spot right now, went back-to-back, we've had no repeats. Not even back-to-backs. No repeats at all. This is
Not
the
even-
only
not even
repeat
close.
champion. And it was the first 2 seasons of FARCA. I love the do it for Dale on the back of that.
Yes.
On the Dale scheme.
Yeah, they're off season. Just changed the whole team's mentality.
So Sammy Cobb's starting to do what we saw Aaron do. He checked out. He's up, but it's only about a half a second, and Aaron only got out by about like 1.2, 1.3 seconds before he really started to fall off on that initial run. I wonder if that's how it's just we're going to see the cars on these early runs, is that the better cars will get their chances to run away, but once tires start to wear, that's when we're going to see fields start to get close again. Early predictions of how this car will handle and run.
I think that we're going to see the 77 car take control of the race. I mean, we're going to have a scheduled caution, and whatever happens from there, things could change. The running order could change as we get on the pit road, but right now the 77 might be the strongest car out there.
I'm not saying I disagree with you, but he was a tenth slower to second and third on the previous run. However, what's crazy about this top 3 is their best laps are separated by 2.5 tenths. That's the fastest laps between this top 3. And the fastest one, I guess to your credit, is Sammy Cobb.
Yeah, I think we're going to see after the halfway break who's really got the fastest car. There's going to be some guys that are saving, that are just hoping to get track position once we get this halfway break.
Now, I kind of want to point fingers at the 5 car when we talk about that, because he's currently putting down 33 fours, but his fastest lap is clear by 2/10 over anybody in the field. He turned down a 32.76. So I wonder what Dakota's got in the tank for us.
It's all going to matter on how they get on and off pit road here once we can come to the halfway break.
Now, this was, without the halfway break, a scheduled 3-stop race. That's right, 3-stop race. That's what the full tank of fuel on these. We used to take some fuel out or mandate they couldn't go over a bench lunch, and we'd have to give teams different fuel tanks at different races. That's not the case this year. It's a little bit different. These tanks are small by the nature of the car itself. So we'll see how it goes. Already approaching lap traffic ahead of that 77 car. I believe that's David Walsh. That's that car off in the distance. However, we are 6 laps away from that halfway break. Aaron and Dylan starting to switch positions around. Kind of weird to think we've gone halfway through this race with only 1 car being scuffed up. No one's wanted to damage their brand new cars yet. The 97 had a really good run through the center there, but then got loose coming out of 4. We saw that happen a lot in the Pro Series race. Drivers got really loose coming out of turn 4.
I know we're the first race and halfway into the first race of the season, but I'm predicting to see that 69 and 97 battling a lot.
I would not be surprised.
They are both hungry for a championship.
Aaron's been in since 2014, all the way back to the ORD days, back in the GoPro Cup Series. And you know what he doesn't have out of most of these guys that have been around that long? A Premier Series championship. And he has been hungry for it. Dakota Cottle, coming towards the end of this run, really starting to show his stuff. He's caught these 2 guys in this little battle for second here, a couple laps away from this halfway break. Again, you'll be seeing that here soon. And we will cut away for that. But when you guys come back and see us, we will be under the yellow.
Fuck you, Baltimore!
You're dumb enough to buy a new car this weekend.
You're a big enough schmuck to come to Big Bill Hell's Cars.
Bad deal.
Cars that break down.
Thieves.
If you think you're gonna find a bargain at Big Bill,
You can kiss my ass.
it's our belief that you're such a stupid motherfucker.
You'll fall for this bullshit.
Guaranteed.
If you find a better deal,
Shove it up your ugly ass.
you heard us right.
Shove it up your ugly ass.
Bring your tray.
Bring your title.
Bring your wife.
We'll fuck her.
That's right, we'll fuck your wife.
Because at Big Bill Hell,
You're fucked 6 ways from Sunday.
take a hike
to Big Bill Hell.
home of challenge pissing.
That's right.
Challenge pissing.
How does it work?
If you can piss 6 feet in the air straight up and not get wet,
You get no down payment.
don't wait.
Don't delay.
Don't fuck with us or we'll rip your nuts off.
Only at Big Bill Hell.
The only dealer that tells you to fuck off.
Hurry up, asshole.
This event ends the minute after you write us a check.
And it better not bounce or you're a dead motherfucker.
Go to hell.
Big Bill Hell's Cars.
Baltimore's filthiest.
And exclusive on one of the meanest sons of bitches in the state of Maryland.
Guaranteed.
ايه ده؟ ما تيجي نجيب باندا يا بابا.
يا ابني ده ما جبنا حاجات كتير.
Just you know why. Why you and I will buy and
باندا ما يتقلهاش لا.
Settle down.
Back here on URD TV at the Homestead Race Burger King 200. It is still Sammy Cobb up here at the front. And we had some cars come down pit road for some fresh rubber. You're going to see some shuffling going down here on the field, and that's because they're going to be sending cars around to their respective spot as long as they don't run each other over. Correction, nobody came down pit road. But as long as we don't have a natural caution, we will always be throwing these halfway brakes. Might get really windy there on Brett's side of the booth.
No.
Very good. Yeah, we're going to see that here for a second. And that is because right here, the number 75 car who was one lap down, Joshua Lockhart, will be given the free pass by FARCA officials. He was one lap down. Got lapped under green before pit cycle, so get a fresh chance there for the Bin Autosport 75 car. Now, the reason why we won't do the 15 is because he is 10 plus laps down. So that's just an unfortunate thing for the number 15 car, as he will have to go and log laps. All right, so now that we're halfway through this, any early predictions from you guys?
I don't want to be biased, but I'm going to be biased.
Go right ahead. I'm going to be biased too.
I think Dylan Touchton.
Dylan
As long as we
Touchton.
get a decent long run.
I got to hand this to one of my affiliate teams back with our old Ford partnership and a team that is still with that Ford partnership. I'm going to go with Sammy Cobb. It's been a long time coming for him to get another win. It's been a minute since he's gotten a win. I think it's going to be a good race for him to do so tonight.
You might see some speed out of the 5 and 39 on these next runs.
I agree. Can you believe that 77 car only has 2 wins? I find that hard to believe.
Sammy will tell you himself that he's not a top tier driver, but he can consistently spread his finishes out to be there at the end of the season points wise. And that's where he feels his biggest strength is.
DNFs have always played them. He's led laps every single season and always double digit ones at that too, as well as numerous top 10s, but the average finish has always been down in the 20s because of the DNFs. And if they can get some consistency going for that 77 car, I would easily call that team a title contender. All right, halfway through this race, sun has officially set. We are all the way under the lights.
I mean, there's always that dark horse sitting there in 5th. Yes, I'm referring to our 2-time champion as a dark horse.
And don't be surprised, number 79 as well, sitting right behind that dark horse, literally, as well. We're getting ready to take the green flag. It is going to be Sammy Cobb who leads us away for the second half of the race. Green flag is back out for the Burger King 200, race 1 of the season. Brett Pritchard looked to the inside there, but immediately got blocked by Aaron Douglas in that bottom lane. He sticks right to the bottom of that apron, contemplating 3 wide. I think there was contact between the 97 and the 5 there. We are 3 wide.
Yeah.
And I think the Dakota may have gotten into the wall.
79 is up there. 27. So look at those two had really good restarts.
Still 3 wide, almost 4 wide behind. And one of the cars has to back out of it. That was the 19 of Dylan Young. And that Nesquik is 19. Hard charging through the bottom is the 44.
Oh,
car in the wall.
28 cars in the wall.
That's going to be a yellow. Hard hit into the wall for Deacon Jones. And then we have a right front tire down on that 28 car. That's your first actual natural yellow of the race. Heavy damage to that 28 machine. He's been limping it down on the pit road. Oh, may have gotten high centered there on the apron. And he might have to get towed back there. Too much damage for Deacon Jones.
It's that god dang diffuser.
We're going to see if we can find out what happened to Deacon Jones here. May be the case. And in fact, this is going to be a chain reaction by the looks of it. Here we go. Let's go ahead and hang on, they got to see it first. So we're going to go on board and see Crass's view for this because I think Crass is going to have a really good view of this. So let's go ahead and bring this up for you guys. So we're on board right now with the 63 car, but we're going to be paying attention to... Oh, I don't have my arrow. To the 28, which is that blue and silver car on the bottom, on the right, left side of your screen, and the green car that is chilling there on the right side of your screen as we go into slow motion here. Marissa gets loose and contacts the wall, and the 28's trying to blend up there, makes contact with that machine, and he gets right into the wall. That's right there is where he blows that right front tire. And that is why we are under caution. Now that was just an unfortunate event there for the 28. Credit to the rest of the cars for that not turning into an even bigger wreck.
Mm-hmm. The last couple years, we would have seen a massive, 6-7 car pileup after that.
All right, so under caution yet again. No takers down pit road.
Little shake up within the top 10 after that restart, though.
Quite a bit. That was a very exciting top 10. That restart was crazy. Justin Osborne did a hell of a job on that restart. Moved up several positions from 7th to 4th. On that restart alone. Chris Davis up here as well. A little bit of a struggle for the 44. Dropped back a couple rows. Cittadino, sorry, not Cittadino. Yes, Cittadino. He's still up here in the 11th spot. Langelier, for the first time tonight, is in the top 10. Credit to that for his first race back since 2020. Been 5 years.
Dakota stayed out after possibly getting some wall contact.
That's an interesting move. I'm pretty sure Dakota hit the wall. Because he was way up on the outside. They were nearly 4 wide on that corner entry. Brett was pushing it on the bottom as hard as he could. But it looks like he's okay. Now we lead. Sammy Cobb is in control of the restart. Aaron to the outside, that number 97. Green flags back out in the air. We are underway yet again. Lap 71 out of 135. Here at Homestead.
Push it 3-4 wide this time.
An early look to the inside there by Nick Fountain. Connor Ramirez starting to move up here as well. He's behind him in that Ghost White number 28. We got down 3 wide for the lead to the inside.
Aaron's going to use the rim to get to the lead.
That was a
Aaron
huge push.
Aaron's running a new high line.
Langelier, though, split in the middle. Gaining some positions on this restart. Moves up to the top 5 on the restart. Huge block to Graziano by the 9 car.
Here comes Dan cutting through the middle
We
as
are
well.
5 wide here at Homestead.
That's not going to end well.
I don't know how they've managed to hold on to that. Eugene Hogg, Marissa, and a few others were all involved with that, and they stay clean. Touchdown getting loose on the outside. Holds up Citadino. These restarts are crazy. How about Jay Langelier up to 4th now in that number 9 machine?
Still 3 wide on.
Oh boy, yeah, they're having fun here. Brett struggling, him in the 69 trying to run the outside.
Trying to make a new line.
Trying to get that lane to come in. If they continue to run up there, it will eventually clear up, and there is speed up there. Brett dives all the way down the bottom. 3 wide right in front of him. Connor, Hawk, and Citadino.
You know, Connor's probably driving like, oh, damn, I don't have the 6 car to worry about.
Connor's all the way up to 8th now.
Connor might be missing that 6 car.
I think he's going out there to try and play with the 9 car.
Possibly.
More 3 wide action behind. That's the 12 car and the 92. Oh, I think there may have been contact with the 92 and the 63. So on board with Brad Smith and the TXS car. Andy Vealey just driving around the outside of that 12 car. Look at the 5 car trying to rim ride. That's Dakota Cottle. And it worked. He just gained a couple spots there, up to 13th now. So it is. They are trying to bring in that far outside lane. He's doing it again. 3 wide down the front straightaway. The battle for 13th. Oh, Eugene
Hawk got
he bailed out of that.
super loose. I don't know if he bailed or got super loose.
Through the middle, the 41, Andrew Weisbacher. What a move. They're really starting to find their footing in these cars. The racing has been incredible on this restart. Rob Kreider, the rookie, behind the 55 on the bottom.
Yeah, we got a couple of rookies back here. Really getting used to the series and how everybody else drives around them.
Back up towards the front, they're starting to close in. The 77s are approaching the 79 and the 97. 3 different numbers, only 2 digits of numbers. I am still really impressed with how Langelier handled these last 2 restarts. He has gained a ton of positions on these last 2 runs. Yellow's out. Yellow's out. Trying to see. Oh, Brad Hughes. Issue with the Tom Brad development number 7, a.k.a. head. Heavy right front damage to that number 7 car. We got to figure out what happened with this number 7 machine. That's unfortunate for him, isn't it? All right, so we found the issue. It's kind of a crazy one. So let's go ahead and keep our eyes on this number 7 machine. You're going to see him here. It's the yellow car on the outside lane in front of that pink number 36. Now, no fault to Brad. This is entirely a racing incident. Look at the absolute run he is going to get here on the outside. Splits it 3 wide. Then the 56 starts to clear up. Not suspecting that the 77s have, or sorry, the 7 car of Brad is having such a huge run. And that contact spins Brad out, sends him around in front of the 36.
I think Brad was also hard on the brakes when he saw the 30 or 56 coming up.
Yeah, so let's go on board with Brad because he had a huge run going into this corner. Just wrong place, wrong time. He had a huge run, was trying to make it work. And that's just what's going to happen here with these. He's on pit road getting some repairs done.
Will most likely go a couple laps down, but he's not out of the race, so he'll still be able to collect.
Yeah, if he can get that car fixed up quickly and come back out in time, he'll get some laps made back around. Aaron was your leader at the time of the caution. This is our second natural caution of the race.
Time for another crazy restart.
Oh, yes. We have 55 laps left in the race. Lights on the pace car out. Green flag next time around. That number 7 car is still on pit road, so he's probably going to lose some more laps here. Unfortunate for Brad. Now, on that last restart, a couple drivers that I want to point out had turned their fastest laps of the race on that last restart. That was Daniel Quinones as well as Connor Meir in the number 29. Both set their fastest laps on that previous restart. That wasn't the fastest of the race, but it was the fastest for them. Connor's starting to find some speed. He has entered into the 32 realm, just 2/10 off of the fastest lap of the race. So he's getting there. As we come down to the front stretch, this time the 97 is going to be the control car with Justin Osborne to the outside, waiting for them to go. Green flag. We are racing again. Lap 81 out of 135 laps. 55 to go here at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Inside lane got a much better restart on that one.
Starting to fan out all over the place once again. These restarts are hectic. 77 looks to the inside. Langelier trying to make another move as he's been so good on these restarts. Here comes the 39 of Nick Fountain to the bottom. 3 wide behind.
Three wide ahead.
Connor,
Three wide everywhere.
Connor trying to push Jay Langelier right in front of him. Oh, crash in the back.
Ooh.
Cars around in the back. That's going to be a yellow.
Multiple cars.
Oh, man. Richie Mancha, that car is destroyed.
Yeah. There's a white car that bounced off the wall multiple times as well.
Yellow number 3 is out, and I think we have our tall tale. It looks like the same incident that happened with Bradley Hughes, where the 82 didn't know the 99 was having such a huge run, got into the side of that car, sent the number 99 and the 82 around this time. That's probably why it looked worse than it seemed ahead of the previous crash, is both of these cars then got collected into the wall.
And that was Tom Jones in the 46 that bounced off the wall a couple times.
Quinn Ezo also involved. John Cittadino in that number 75 car, he was involved. Lizzie Wesley slowed up. Not much damage to Wesley's car. But
you take a look at see how much damage.
Looks like Makoto Kino got involved, as she is now also on pit road. We're hearing, and oh yes, that's going to be involved here with that separate incident with Tom Jones after he was bouncing off of the wall.
I think Tom flipped a piece of the 82 car and then just...
Oh! And there goes his bumper, flew off the car. So while he was ping-ponging basically off the side of the wall there. Let's see if we can get it on board with Tom's machine. I want to see his perspective.
Making both Tier 1 motorsports cars involved in this accident. That team did not need this at all.
Trying to save it, gets back into the wall. Again in the wall and clipped by the 33. A lot of damage to that number 46 machine for Tom Brad Development. And that was a huge crash. Huge crash.
Neither TBD or the other team that Adam was just talking about needed that.
All right, well, rack him up and let's go again, as we got Aaron, and he'll be starting alongside Sammy Cobb in that number 77 yet again. And this time, a little bit of a shuffle of cars, as we have the 06 of Chris Davis, Jay Langelier still up here, as well as Nick Fountain, Connor Muir, and Marissa Miranda, the rookie, is up here for the first time in the top 10 in her career. All right, the number 7 car was repaired and it is off of pit road, but the 46 still getting repairs done to that machine. Pace car is going to be coming down this time. Green flag's back out, lap 83 on a 135. Here we go again. Huge run to the middle there. That's Dylan Young in the number 19. Aaron actually had a really easy getaway on this restart compared to previous ones, but they are stacked up behind him. Oh, Connor trading paint with the number 9. I think that was on purpose. A little homage back to the other driver.
I think it absolutely was. A little touch for Ben.
I think Jay's laughing in that car right now, losing his focus. Still 3 wide, multiple lanes behind. Rob
69 has found
Kreider
its way back up.
and the 69, yes. Dylan Young back into the top 10, right behind Greg Graziano. Connor Mir now up to the 4th spot, up 16 positions behind his teammate, the number 79. We have a car coming down pit road. That's Dylan Touchton. I don't see damage.
Short pitting?
Short pitting, that could be it. If it stays green, but that's a huge gamble. They need this to stay green. If there's a yellow, this could screw them. Keep an eye on that pit stop times. Connor Meyer just set the fastest lap of the race, 32.72. Yes,
Aaron
they
has come
are.
down pit road.
And Jay Langelier. Oh, this is going to be really iffy. This can make or break the race for multiple cars. The narrative could change. It all would be the decider if a yellow comes out. Look who's in the top 10 for the first time in his career. It's Rob Kreider, the number 38. What was that pit stop time?
Touchdown did a 10.2 and Aaron did a 10.5.
Interesting. All right, so it's normal service. It is normal service. David Walsh, Kenny Membura on pit road as well. Justin, welcome to the chat, you cool cat. You are currently in the 2nd spot. We got some early pit cycles beginning to happen, and Mir Toyota
just did a 9.9.
9.9. What a pit stop for the Rebel Racing camp. Number 82, Kenny Membura, getting put in good position by his team.
You know what these couple drivers that have short pitted don't want to see, though?
I do not want to see a yellow. That will completely change the strategy for those short pitted drivers. And that's quite a gamble. We just had 3 yellows basically back to back to back with some serious contact. Why didn't they pit in one of those yellows, and why do they think it's going to stop now?
I'm going to shoot my shot here, but maybe it's because Tom Jones development is no longer on track. The race is official at that point.
I don't think they're going to like hearing that.
I mean, I might have heard some radio chatter about them saying the race is official because both cars are trashed. So I'm using their own words.
Sammy Cobb, number 77, the Elite 77, is coming down pit road. And that's going to allow, for the first time tonight and the first time this season, unsurprisingly, Justin Osborne will be leading. And it's a Meyer Gazoo Racing 1-2 at the moment. Of course, they still have to pit, but they are really hoping a caution comes out right now because that takes out a lot of serious contenders. Greg Graziano has pitted from the 3rd spot. And that allows
Cobb with a little bit of a slower pit stop.
Oh, yeah, look at that. A 10.57 for Sammy Cobb in the 77 crew. They struggled last time as well, but he made good time as far as his own driving coming on and off pit road. Let's see what Graziano does. It's a 9.98 for the Graziano crew, and the Cittadino camp did a 9.97, flying for these two. Eugene Hawk and Justin Osborne have come down pit road. That's going to allow Connor Mir to lead his first lap of the season. Connor's coming down pit road. Can we talk about Mr. Right Place, Right Time? I would not be surprised if just because he is up here right now, if the caution were to magically fly for the number 26, Noed won some very lucky races last year.
Yeah. It's just how Noed's races normally fall. Kind of just fall into his hands.
He's staying out yet again. It looks like Andy Bewley comes down pit road, as well as Quinones and Krasa.
We're seeing super low 10s on pit stops. So anything 10-3, 10-4, 10-5 is all a slow pit.
Unsurprising to see this kid leading. This is the defending champion. He was a rookie last season. Pretty much since the beginning of FARCA, well, of course, the first year of everybody being a rookie. This is the only rookie to win the championship, and he did it last year in a tiebreaker with team owner Benjamin Thomas, who was on the hood.
Reckless has spent a lot of
series driver.
Yes, they've spent a lot of off season with Noed on the sim and just getting him used to the new car.
Chris Davis and Andrew Weisbecker pitted this time, but I thought for a second he's passing a car on fresh tires. Okay, there we go. And he relinquishes it.
I think Elias Nassar in the number 1 car has the fastest pit stop of the night with a 9.83.
That's an insane pit stop for the noon racing camp.
Chris Davis did a 9.82.
That pit stop just happened too.
Yep.
All right. Last car out to try and finish the gamble, and that's going to be Caitlin Muir, the only car that has not pitted yet and is currently leading the race. 3 out of the 4 Mir Gazoo racing cars have all had a chance to lead the lap, but I think she's coming in this time. Yes, she is. And who is going to be your cycled leader of the race?
Connor Mir is...
Connor Mir is your cycled leader. What a strategy call out of the Mir Toyota Racing camp. They are 1-2.
Graziano, Patwary, and Andy Bewley have some kind of strategy going on. Sammy Cobb is just passed now at Patwary. Those guys likely took fuel only.
Yeah, this is interesting. I'm curious to see how they will run.
Had a lot of speed on those tires.
Yeah, when he came out of pit road, or sorry, before he had pitted, he was hanging in there with Connor's times. So they've made some really good adjustments to that car throughout the night. But how about Connor up 19 positions all the way up to the lead right now? Lap 99 coming to lap 100 out of 135. Now, the crazy thing about this is if this was the race a year ago, we'd be coming to the white flag right now.
I think there's a couple drivers that are happy that we're not. But then there's Connor.
I think he wishes it was that 100 lap race before, but we have an additional 50 miles to go, so 35 more laps. Crazy rebound. Excellent job by the Miragazoo camp to plan this pit cycle out. These two are leading the field by over 2 seconds right now from Graziano and Andy Bewley. Impressive strategy from the Mir camp. Seeing some lap traffic in the way here, that bottom pink car. Pretty impressed by this. I gotta give it to Homestead. It doesn't matter what car we bring here. This track has always been impressive for us.
Yeah.
And even
It
in
is
the
one of
next
our-
week, too. Yeah, it is one of our best tracks. I agree. Don't forget, next week, the Tropicana 200. We head out to Chicagoland Speedway. That'll be next Sunday right here on URD TV. The weekly series will also be shown, as well as the Anestoil Pro Series. We had an issue and unfortunately lost the broadcast of the Homestead race. But the results are up on FARCA.tk. You can see the race results and check the standings, as well as see future and upcoming races, so that way you know when to tune in. Man, Connor's starting to get a really commanding lead, not even on just the third place car with his teammate. He is checking out from his teammate alone right now. This number 29 car is bad fast at the moment.
All three of our original picks are not really doing well.
No, they are about nowhere to be found. I think the highest one of the original picks is Sammy Cobb. And he's sitting back in the fifth spot. Now, he is starting to make some moves. They have gotten around Andrew Weisbecker, but they got still quite a few seconds to try and get back up there. We'll see if they can do it. The surprise car that has fallen back more than I would have expected to is Dylan Young. After that pit cycle, is back to the sorry, my bad. Dylan Touchton, wrong Dylan, is back to the 17th spot.
Yeah, but same could be said about the 44. It's
That's
back
true.
In 33rd.
33rd for Brett Pritchard, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy change of events for our multi-time champion. He's actually getting passed by one of his startup cars. That's Elias Nassar, the Canadian. One of the Canadians.
Yeah, Brett knows how to pick the Canadians.
He's found some pretty quick ones.
Yeah, and Elias comes from the karting industry, so we'll see how he can adapt to the big stock car.
He's had an interesting start. Not bad for noon racing. They got 2 rookies in the field. And in fact,
Only one of them made this race.
Right, the teammate Travis Dawson failed to qualify. That's the number 8 car we saw in practice.
That car could just run different colored wheels every race and still look good.
Probably. That's the best part about running a black and white car. All right, why don't we do a little bit of an as they run? We talked about Carter Mir a lot, so let's talk about second place. How about Justin Osborne, your regular season champion of the previous year? He's up 8 spots, and he is currently sitting in the second spot. Adam, you want to take it away for Andy Bewley?
In the Dutch Brothers Ford Mustang going through turns 1 and 2, Andy Bealey is working her way towards the front of the field just after a bit of a rough midsection of the race, back into the 3rd position here at the Homestead Miami Speedway in the Burger King 200. The Ford team, they've had a little bit of a struggle throughout the end of last season into the start of the season, but looks like now that we've gotten all the pit stops out of the way, Andy's going to be on her way to a strong finish.
Greg Graciano in the number 27 AutoZone Chevrolet. Douglas Motorsports made the manufacturer change and changed up the drivers as well during the off-season. Graciano's making a good start here. He was an understudy driver from Aaron Gabron and drove for Alpine Motorsports, and now he's up here running 4th for Douglas Motorsports.
Then in the 5th position, we have Sammy Cobb in the Speedco Ford Mustang, and Sammy Cobb's struggling with a little bit of a tight condition Earlier in the race, they were at a little loose, much to the benefit of Sammy, but now the handling of the car has kind of gone the other way and seems struggling a little bit.
A surprise driver out here for Supreme Motorsports, even though they've lost their sponsorship. Andrew Weisbecker has been having a really good run. One of the star drivers out here in the 41 car. Looks clean. He's been outside in the top 5, made some crazy diving moves in the inside. Been really cool to see this little comeback of the team. I'd be interested to see what they have in store for us throughout the rest of the season.
The 26 car is now at Pat Wary. Fastenal sponsorship with them, the defending champion. A little bit of sponsor struggle to see that they don't really have the pace on the field right now. They're deep in the field to begin with. Strategy kind of helped them get towards the front, but losing time to the cars behind.
And we've seen the 97 of Aaron leading a good portion of the race, but after the pit cycles was relegated back to the 8th position. Starting to struggle here in the traffic, not moving up like Sammy Cobb has, and as well as Pat Worry. So hoping for yellow for the number 97 car.
One car that's kind of happy with how the season, or not the season, the race has turned around is the 19 of Dylan Young, allowing him to get into the top 10. A little bit of, not exactly the balance that they were looking for this week, and as a whole they've struggled, but this 19 car looks like they're going to be able to salvage a top 10 out of it.
And into the Reckless Racing camp again, this is Dan the Man, Daniel Quinones, having a decent run. He struggled a lot last season, had a very up and down season, couple wins, couple DNFs. Trying to start the season off well, and he is the last car inside the top 10. Moved up 19 positions tonight, just looking for a good run.
And a car that has been at the center of the calamity throughout this race is this 32 of Marissa Miranda. Not the cleanest race for the debut of Fox Racing, but through it they're going to have a good race. No friends, but a strong finish for them.
Fun fact from Marissa Miranda, she is a nail tech on the side. John Cittadino in the 12th spot.
That's the most random fun fact of any race. That one caught me off guard.
John
there was gonna be
Cittadino
so much more to that.
for Team Motorsports, running in the 11th spot for the number 72 car. Had a really good race, had some couple flashes here in the top 10, currently sitting just outside of it. But he's got some good speed as he's getting the doors blown off of him by Eugene Hawk.
Going the right direction. John Cittadino just losing a spot to Marissa Miranda, now under fire from the 88 car. Eugene Hawk and the K&N Chevrolet making their return to the Premier Series after RPM took a hiatus. They're a little bit excited for this two-car operation. Only one car left in the field right now, but Eugene is on his way forward from his initial starting spot of 12th, trying to get back into there.
And right behind him in that bright green Streisand Cocktail Chevrolet, that's Rob Kreider, a retired CHP officer out of California, out here now making the stock car debut. He's had a pretty good run. Was in the top 10 for a flashes during the pit cycle, and now making a move on the 88. So Rob getting adapted to these stock cars really quickly after driving Porsches and Miata for the most of his racing career.
The 51 car of Tim Salmon for the TXS Racing Camp lost their Toyota sponsorship, lost their Toyota partnership. They weren't able to form anything with Chevy or Ford, and so they stuck with the body. But the drivers had a little bit of quiet optimism heading into this week, and they lost their flagship car, the 15, to an accident. But Tim Salmon, who was pretty close to a championship himself a number of years ago, still feels like this team has what it takes to get to the front.
Dylan Touchton led a good amount of this race already out of the IRM camp. The defending team that won this race a year ago. I feel almost heartbroken for the driver because he had a really good car tonight, but since that last pit cycle has been stuck back here in the bottom half of the top 20. So I know for sure that we'll see a win and some checkered flags out of this driver at some point throughout the season, but it just won't happen tonight for Dylan Touchton.
And behind them we have Brandon Crasta, which Crasta's had a down and downer day today so far out of the California driver. Procrastination on the hood, his own race team, not really the sponsorship that they've been trying to find. The team's really been struggling to keep their footing in this series for the last time, and they're running in the 17th spot, which is probably about as good as they could have hoped for.
Right behind them, Dakota Cottle, your 2021 Premier Series champion, who looked like was going to be a very strong car at the early portions of this race, also got the bad half of that pit cycle as he now tries to make a move on the 63 of Brandon Crasta. I expect a lot more out of this 5 car throughout the season. He picked up a win and a couple poles last season. I will not be surprised if we can see similar success despite the funding on that race machine.
Andy Bealey has moved into the second position around Justin Osborne. Going to try to mount a charge on the 29 car as we get into the late stages of this race. Long road ahead of her, those 6 seconds.
Behind them, going through the field still, that's the number 9 car of Jay Langelier. I know it says 09 on that screen, but he is in number 9. This is the former car of his late brother, Benjamin Thomas, running now in a co-ownership with Brett Pritchard of Reckless Racing. He hasn't been inside a stock car in nearly 5 years, and he's had a pretty good run tonight, going back and forth. Just not where he wanted to initially finish or cycle out, but they'll learn that throughout the season. And one last driver, the car that snuck away a few positions, was Brad Smith. Used to drive for Best in the World Racing. Kind of fell out a little bit from the Premier Series. Back in here with TXS. Was picked up and prospected by Connor Meir. We're trying to make something happen with this TXS team, and we'll see as well how they progress throughout the season. As we're almost down to 10 laps to go, and you were talking about Andy Bealey making some late race moves. This is your previous truck champion from 2022. Trying to now get some more pace going out of this 84 machine.
Long road ahead of her to go to the 29 car, though. Second place is about all they can strive for at this point.
Yeah, Justin's starting to fall off here as this run continues to go on. He just lost another place there. Greg Graziano got around the 79 car.
But Connor is still stretching that lead.
This is very impressive. A 7-second lead out of this OG Ghost car as he approaches the back of that number 82 machine. It's Kenny Bambura. His teammate running in second right now. May want to try and hold up this 29 car and help out Andy Bealey, but that 29 car is really quick.
Bealey's about to find herself under fire.
And he does! Gets blocked by the number 82 car. Some team help going on here. We don't ban this. It's not forbidden in FARCA. We let the races see fit, and that is some help coming Andy Bealey's way as he was able to hold up Connor by 1.5 seconds. And Connor still can't get around this 82 car yet.
He's finally around.
That's a good teammate right there. Kenny Bambura helping out Andy Bealey.
But I don't think it was enough.
Definitely was not enough. Connor already firing away and is immediately back up to 6.5 seconds. He gained a full second on the second place car in one turn. It's going to take a lot to make this number 29 car not win the race. As long as those lights don't turn yellow.
And so now it's going to be a question of who actually was able to be efficient enough on fuel to go to the end.
I don't think we're going to have too much of an issue. It was 35 laps when they were all coming down to pit. Sorry, 40 laps. And they were all ran themselves out to about 50 before. So I would be really surprised if cars had to pit here coming to the end. Now, if we have a caution, that's going to change the narrative of a lot of things.
I think they're so spread out. It's gonna take a big issue to cause a crash.
Yeah, we would have to have an issue of either a multi-car incident or a car blowing a tire, causing debris on the racetrack. And I just don't think I can see that happening.
It looks like the 44 might have quietly had an issue, back to 34th place now. I'm not sure if I saw them involved in anything. Zach McAdoo was also very far down the running order. He was 26th earlier, back to 32nd now.
I don't see any damage to that 44 car, so it must just be struggling. May have been trying to push those tires hard to gain some positions, and unfortunately and ultimately may have blown them off. As you were saying, there is a Zach McAdoo Mac Attack machine also back here in the bottom part of the field. 5 to go now here at Homestead.
Fords in this second half of this race just have struggled.
Besides Andy Bewley, yes.
Besides Andy.
How about Graziano for Douglas Motorsports at Chevrolet? Running in the 3rd spot. We actually have a Toyota, Ford, and Chevy for our top 3. All 3 manufacturers in the top 3.
Greg being the only Chevy within the top 10.
Actually. Oh, there's a second Ford. There's Sammy Cobb.
Oh, not anymore. Aaron just fell out of the top 10.
Oh. Yep. And that allowed him, well, he's going back and forth here. Battling with the 32 car.
97's really struggling in the deep run.
Which is uncharacteristic of him. Well, actually, no, that did happen because he got to a 2-second lead when his first stint of leading the race and then fell back to the crutches of the field. So that does make sense. Two to go now for Connor Meir in the number 29 with a huge near 7-second lead. The largest lead we've had all night long. We had a crazy finish last year. It looks like we may not get that again this year, but the race itself as a trade-off was a really good one.
It's been a long time since Connor Meir has found himself in the victory lane. Just know that team would be really excited for this trip to finalize.
A very dominating weekend from Connor.
He did a pretty good job, I would say. The last time he won a race was in 2024. He only took home 1 victory in 2024. Do you guys want to take a guess to where that was?
Homestead?
Texas Motor Speedway is where he took his only win of the previous season. But this time now out of 3 and 4 for the final time. Checkered flag is in the air, and it's going to go to Connor Meir out of Meyer Gazoo Racing. He takes the first win of 2025 and wins the 10th anniversary race.
Very
Awesome job to Connor.
Kind of fitting, though. First race without Ben. And Connor wins.
You know he had to do it to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he says he's getting the brooms out.
Yeah, Connor, of course, won the other race at Homestead, the OPS race yesterday, so he has swept the
And
weekend.
yep, that is the first sweep. So Connor has a 100% win ratio to start the 2025 season. How about that?
That off-season championship he nagged.
That's true. This is your super FARCA champion. Connor's been lighting it up.
Connor's doesn't know how to lose at the moment.
Early title favorite.
Points leader.
Yes. All right, here is your results for the Burger King 200. You can take a look at your initial top 20 here. It was Connor, followed by Andy Bewley, and then Greg Graziano finished in the third spot. Justin Osborne for MGR finished fourth, and it's rounds out by Sammy Cobb, the Elite 77, for the fifth spot. That's Weisbecker, Young, Quinones, Pat Worry, and Aaron Douglas to round out your top 10. And it's Marissa Miranda, Tim Salmon, Citadino, Kreider, Eugene Hawk, Jay Langelier, Dylan Tutchin, and Caitlin Muir round out your top 20. There's the rest of your field. Caught on the radio, keys up and goes. This one goes out to Ben and his bigger Ben. That was a pretty good way for us to start the season off.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm ready for the next race.
All right, that next week we head out to Chicagoland Speedway for both the Pro Series and the Premier Series. The mini stocks will be following them out there into a similar area as well. They'll be heading out to Tennessee, actually, for Bristol Motor Speedway. Get a chance for them to rock out on the big track. Be 50 laps around that track for those little cars.
That'll be fun.
That will be. Well, so we will see you guys out here next time on Viewer TV. We'll see you guys later.